Ross Gerber, who just not only is an ultra Tesla bull, has been for a long time, but apparently just landed like 3 more minutes of TV time unless we get Phil's stuff fixed. Ross, thanks for coming on. Listen, we know you.
My pleasure.
We know you love the stock. We know you love the product. We know that. Is there anything that you heard that even as a bull, you say, okay, this is not concerning, but you'd like to see a little bit better?
Not really, in the sense of I actually thought the report was pretty solid across the board. And, Tesla's doing a lot of good things, too. So when you're looking at it from a critical lens, it's all about automotive gross margins continuing to shrink. And the fact that whether it be competition or interest rates or whatever you want to call it, there's still pressure on pricing to some degree. And so, Tesla is one of the best values in the car buying market. If you're out to buy a car, I mean, it's crazy not to buy a Model Y with the incentives out there. But when you really look at it critically, they have seen their margins erode. But granted, I do think long term, it's nothing to be worried about. All right,
Ross, now you sit tight. Phil LeBeau is ready to go. We'll come back to you, Ross.
Technology.
So yeah, it's like the fossil fuel version of TV. It's just gonna eventually. We're gonna phase it out. It's gonna be phased out. Phil LeBeau, now give us the key takeaways of the quarter and the call.
Look, when you look at the second quarter, this was a sensational quarter for Tesla. Any way you look at it, both in terms of beating the street on the top and the bottom line. That was the good news initially, and people, I think, were expecting that. And the automotive gross margins that Ross talked about, there was an expectation, the FactSet consensus, and I know there were some people saying 17.5%. Well, the consensus, according to FactSet, was 16.9%. Either way, 18.2%, while that is down compared to the first quarter and down substantially compared to last year, that was better than what people were expecting. The one disappointment, if there is one, is that we did not hear during the conference call specifics on the release of the Cybertruck, which is expected later this year, though Elon Musk did say they are seeing strong demand for it.
Demand is so far off the hook you can't even see the hook. So that's really not an issue. I do want to emphasize that the Cybertruck has a lot of new technology in it, like a lot. It doesn't look like any other vehicle because it is not like any other vehicle. And the production ramp will move as fast as the slowest and least likely element of the entire supply chain and internal production.
One other thing from the conference call is the question of whether or not they would increase guidance for 1.8 million vehicles being delivered this year, because they're ahead of pace in the first half of the year. Well, they're not increasing their guidance. In fact, they said, look, we have to bring some tooling, do some retool some of the facilities, and as a result, we will not be delivering more than what we initially guided. They didn't bring their guidance down. They just kept it at 1.8 million. That's a bit of a disappointment, a slight one near term for some Tesla investors who were hoping that they might say 1.9, maybe even 2 million. But all in all, when you look at this quarter, Brian, this was a very solid quarter from Tesla.
Yeah, I love that. Demand is so far off the hook, you can't even see the hook. But, Musk is a realist, and I'm looking at some of the sound bites you guys sent with Megan sent and whatever. Good job, by the way, getting it out quick, which is he is worried about macroeconomic conditions. He notes, listen, when interest rates go up, even if prices come down, affordability can be hit. He's not a super bull here.
Oh, he's talked about that for some time. I mean, every time there's been a conference call in the last year, he has taken a shot at the Fed in terms of saying, you keep raising rates, what you're doing is making it much more difficult for people to afford a vehicle, not just a Tesla, any vehicle. And you look at the automotive interest rates right now, Brian, that everybody will tell you the same thing. It's much more expensive. The monthly payment goes up when those interest rates go up. And so he took the opportunity once again to say, you want to see people buy more vehicles, not just Teslas? Bring down those interest rates.